Hello, my name is Joe Contreras and I'm your SGA president. And I'm so excited to welcome you to this year's SGA election kickoff. In a few moments, you'll be able to have the opportunity to hear from some of your residential and commuter candidates. They'll be sitting down with Vice President Matthew Holgate or Vice President Maddie Wegner to give you an opportunity to get to know them a little bit more. Enjoy.
Hello, my name is Madeline Wenger, and I am this year's SGA Executive Vice President, and I am joined by this year's 2020-2021 residential representative candidates. This is a time for you to get to know your residential candidates and to hear why you should vote for them. We're going to start with introductions, and I'm going to have each candidate state their name, class, major, and a fun fact. Cole, let's start with you.
All right, my name is Cole Devereaux. I'm a freshman here at Vanguard University, and I am studying business administration. And then one fun thing about me is I love to cook.
Interesting, thank you. And Sebastian?
Hello, my name is Sebastian. I'm a history political science major. I am a sophomore, and a fun fact about me, I play the piano.
Awesome, thanks. And Donald?
Hello everyone, my name is Donald. I am a junior here at Vanguard. My major is business administration as well. And a fun fact about me is I have seen every single episode of Practical Jokers twice.
I love that. And then lastly, Ellie.
Hi, I'm Eliana Newberg, or most people just call me Ellie. I'm a freshman. I'm studying history and political science, and a fun fact about me is that I am friends with the A-list celebrity on Twitter.
Very fun fact. Okay, so I'm going to go around and ask each of you guys questions. We're just going to stay in that same order you introduced yourself. So our first question is going to be, if you are elected, what can we expect from you this year, and why would you fit this position?
All right, well, for me, I have a major ambition to always make sure that the people around me are always put first. And if I am elected this year, I really want to put students first because my whole life has been about putting my friends and my family first and making sure what they have in order to succeed. And I truly believe that, my ambition to allow, to put others first is really what we need now to make sure people have the supplies and the leaders and the leadership that they need in order to be successful in their individual fields. And especially when we're in a time where, we are in unprecedented times. We are so unsure of what to do right now. And it would just be my goal to make sure that through this difficult time, you have what you need in order to succeed.
Thank you, Cole. And we'll go on to Sebastian.
So last year taught me great lessons. I actually ran for Huntington Hall representative before. Even though I lost, but I gained experience, both as a student and as a candidate. Communication, in my point of view, is a key role on being a leader. Everyone has that quality of possessing what communication really is. But sometimes we just got to understand once we're stepping up to becoming a leader, it's a challenge for us to dedicate our time and efforts. And it's a choice for us to make at the same time. And it is not easy. Not only that, I have experience, a little leadership experience, such as being a part of the kids' ministry, worship leader, even a captain of my soccer team back in high school. But all of those qualities was because of my father's wisdom. And my dad always said, quick to listen, slow to speak, And if I'm elected, I would dedicate my time and efforts for the success of achieving my goals for this campus, because I know that we could step up a notch, even at a challenging time like this, because we're at COVID. So.
Thank you, Sebastian. And we'll go on to Donald.
Yeah, so if I'm elected, I think something you'll see from me is a very involved leader. After being here at Vanguard for the past 3 years, I've learned that the heart of this campus is community. And being able to sit down with my constituents, whether you are in Huntington, Laguna, or Bowport, is making sure that your needs and your desires are heard, they are understood, and they are fought for. I want to sit down and make sure that during any time where you can text me, Zoom me, whatever it is, if you want to sit down and get lunch, that's available. Another thing that I think you'll see from me this year is someone that is going to continuously fight for what you guys need. It is not just empty words or promises that I believe in giving out, but actually taking action. And something that I think makes me a little bit more fit for this is being on campus here for the past 3 years has shown me a lot of where we do things great at, which there's a lot, and where things we need improvement at as well. So being able to have those tough conversations and not being afraid to say, I think my constituents need this, not being afraid to be open and honest with you. That is something that you will see from me as a candidate, and if elected as your representative, is someone who is open and honest about everything that you guys need to hear, and someone that will continuously fight for you, because this position is not for me. I'm not running for Donald. I'm running for you guys to make this a better future, make this not just great for the people here today, but for future generations to come. I will fight for the voice of the voiceless and be the change that we want to see at Vanguard. Thank you.
Thank you, Donald. And then to finish off this question, we'll have Ellie go.
Awesome. So if I'm elected, you can really expect my love for student government and others to shine to its fullest extent. I don't know if a lot of people have watched Parks and Rec, but the best way to describe what you'll expect from me is that I am the Leslie Knope of student government. Although I will apologize now, I will not be wearing pantsuits. Don't really fit me that well. But you can also expect me to listen to the residential students' voices and make sure that they are heard. I will work tirelessly to make sure that the needs of residential students are met. I believe that I'm qualified for this position because I've had the pleasure of being able to serve my high school student body for 8 straight years, and I've held the presidential title 3 times as well as a student outreach position. I've planned homecomings, dances, proms, freshman orientations, as well as so much more through student government. I also held a position as a student representative on my hometown school board for 2 years, where I was able to voice opinions and concerns from students as well as parents from local schools. During high school, I also held a school forum every month, which allowed students to voice their opinions to our principal, vice principal, and our activities director. I was a part of 2 committees, a government affairs committee, which was like local police and fire stations. And I was part of the school advisory council with parents and a WASC planning team to make sure our school was accredited. For community service, I was a tour guide and social media manager for my high school's annual haunted house, which raised money for the Leukemia and Lymphoma Society. I had also started a school-wide kindness campaign to inspire others to be kind to each other. At Vanguard, I also started the freshman Instagram page in order to help freshmen find each other on social media and find roommates and begin their Vanguard journey, just so they're a little bit more comfortable. Although I have had lots of experience, the most important thing about me and what you can expect is that I love to serve my school and all students. You can also expect me to be outside and create relationships with students on campus. I really love to talk to people and I love to make friends. And overall, it's truly my passion to serve peers in student government, and I would love nothing more than the opportunity to show residential students at Vanguard what I have to offer.
Thank you, Ellie. Okay, our next question, and we'll just go in the same order we did, and I'll just move it on to the next person. Last question of the night is, what improvement or addition do you feel the residence halls need the most, and why? Cole, let's start with you again.
For sure. So, I mean, like I was saying before, we are in a time where it's unfortunate that we don't have everyone here at campus. But for those that are, would really be my top priority to make sure that for the students that are here, that even though, we're staying 6 feet apart and we may not be able to all meet in person at once, that we still have that community feeling. So my goal would be to introduce a system that allows students to stay connected, to know what's going on, that everybody's in the loop despite not all being in the same place. And while we all can't be in big groups right now, still letting people know that there's activities that we can do and that everyone's invited, so everyone feels included, despite, not all being together in person. So I just would really love to just let everyone know that I'm here for you and that we're here for you as a campus, and that as struggling as it is for some people doing this whole thing online, that we're all in this together. This is one mission and one fight, and we're going through it as a team.
Thank you, Cole. Sebastian?
Yes. First and foremost, I understand that we are in a time of global pandemic, and at the same time, we're being limited to things that we want to do, stuff that we can't do anymore, such as wearing masks, 6 feet apart, and not even gathering together. And it kind of disturbs that type of feeling, because that's the stuff that we want to feel. That's the qualities that we want to feel like we're at home. I've actually spoken to former leaders from last year, and I do still talk to them to this day, that they feel a little discouraged, and I understand their feelings, and I too compare that feeling at the same time. However, I know that there are goals that I want to achieve that really can be a great success in this community. I am also connected with SFD, with Pastor Mike, and I do believe that with the help of him, with the help of SFD, my plan is to create worship nights, of course, being 6 feet apart. At the same time, I want to get creative, and I want to achieve those goals at the same time. I want to do Bible groups at the same time. I actually just started a Bible club. Last year, and at the same time, I want others to reestablish their connection with Christ, because that's the most important thing to their life as well. And with residents' life, I want to start social activities for people to finally get out more and be social, and at the same time, make them feel that Vanguard is their home for them. I understand what they're feeling and what they have gone through. And most freshmen have felt bumped out because, they lost grad night, they lost prom, they lost even graduated up on stage. And I want them to feel home and create new activities and be creative at the same time. JFK once said, every accomplishment starts with the decision to try. Now I'm willing to try that. Thank you.
Thank you, Sebastian. Donald, would you please go?
Yes, similar to what the two candidates before me said, I think, as they've said, it's very clear and obvious that we are in a time that we've never seen before. And there's a thing, and I'm very a firm believer in giving hope and making sure that people understand and know that there is still hope, even though we are now having to basically eat outside, put our masks back on, or eat inside your room and kind of feeling that sense of confinement. I think the residence halls need more of a space to make sure that we can actually kind of find a way to gather together, where we can find ways to still build that sense of community, but also make sure that we're protecting the health and the safety of every single person here. Because our health and our safety is the most important thing. No one wants to get coronavirus at all. I don't want that for anybody either. But making sure that we are able to still create that sense of community, whether it be inside of our lounges where we can have about 4 or 5 people in there at a time and having smaller events, or being able to Zoom and have a house party like the app that there is, making sure that there's different ways and ideas where we can really create that sense of community, but also do it in a way where everyone feels safe and that they don't feel that, am I risking my life by going to this event, or am I going to contract something from being here? Making sure that we're in a safe and structured environment, but also an environment that allows people to grow, allows people to really feel that sense of the Vanguard community where your story does matter, and making sure that people understand that although we're not able to have full in-person classes due to certain restrictions, or though we're not able to go hang out in each other's rooms, making sure that we have a fundamental structure put in place. And that is one of the first things that I believe that as a representative that I will work very hard on, is making sure that every single resident, whatever building they're inside of, has a chance and has a place to also grow and have that sense of community, even if we're partnering with Res Life as well, to make sure that if as a residential representative in Res Life, we all come together and decide how can we create the best framework for people to stay safe, but also give people that sense of community. So I think as the biggest improvement or addition that we need on campus right now is creating a way to make sure that everyone's story does feel like they're heard, no one feels isolated, and that we're able to still build that community that we so value here at Vanguard.
Thank you, Donald. And to close off this question and the whole interview, Ellie.
So although I do agree that residence halls need better elevators and that Huntington Hall needs vanities, and I will work with residents to see what improvements they want to see physically, I do believe that during this time of remote learning, what we all need as residential students is connection. Yes, both Wi-Fi and connections with humans. I understand that it's hard to meet people when there's so many rules in place that do restrict the ability to meet people in conventional ways. And for some people, it's really not easy to just go up to someone and be like, hey, do you want to go grab lunch? When in class, it's a little easier to just be like, oh, I'm going to the CAP after this. You want to go grab some lunch? Like that kind of thing. And it's also hard because we all have like online classes that we're usually doing in dorms and stuff. So we're really inside most of the time. So I want to work with residential students to create the optimal virtual experience where students are able to meet other students that are living on campus this semester to really create an area where Vanguard truly feels like they're home away from home.
Thank you, Ellie. I'd like to thank all of you for participating and being willing to run for the House of Representatives. I think it shows a lot of caring so much about our school and our campus, especially in, as Cole has said, a very unprecedented time. I appreciate all of the time you've given tonight and the time that you've put into campaigning, and I wish you all the luck in voting. Have a wonderful night.
Well, hello, my name is Matthew Holgate, and I am this year's SGA Vice President of Communication. I'm joined today by the 2020 through 2021 commuter representative candidates. This is a time to get to know your future commuter representatives and hear why you should vote for them. So at this time, I'll have each candidate state their name, class, major, and a fun fact about themselves. And we'll start with Chelsea at this time.
Hi, my name is Chelsea Martinez. I'm a freshman here at Vanguard. I'm in the pre-nursing major, and a fun fact about me is that I really love fashion design, and I have a Depop. If you don't know what that is, that's like where a lot of people sell clothes and stuff, and I've been doing that for over 2 months, I think, and I've gotten a lot of like good reviews and sales, so yeah.
Hi, my name is Vanessa. I'm a senior. I'm a psychology major. And fun fact about me is I really love to engage in worship at Vanguard and at my local church. Worship is just a part of who I am, and I really love to be a part of that kind of experience with other young people. So that's about me.
Hi, everyone. My name is Agnes Nemtalk. I'm a freshman. I'm a sociology major, and one of my favorite literary texts to read is a South Korean comic called Trapped. Cheese in a Trap. Cheese in a Trap.
Hi, you guys. I am Kimberly Pena. I am a freshman. My major is psychology, and a fun fact about me is I graduated high school at the same time as college.
Amazing. Well, thank y'all for introducing yourselves to us. We're going to get started with the questions. So we're going to just jump right into this. You guys all sound like amazing individuals, and I'm so excited to hear what y'all have to say. So our first question tonight is going to be, what do you plan on doing this year to encourage commuters to become more involved on campus or with other students? And if you need me to repeat that question at any time, just let me know and I will, okay? We'll start off with Chelsea.
So there's a lot of things that I think that I could do to have students more involved in campus. Like in my high school, we did things called spirit weeks, and that's like where you dress up or you like go with like a theme of something. So like, let's say pajama day. I mean, I think it's like, it'll help like the commuters, especially for us to like feel more involved and more like with other people that live on campus, obviously. Social media, one of them as well. It's like more, I think that's really important because we're not on campus right now. So like social media, like events over like Zoom, and like I think we had like a Netflix thing going on, like for commuters too. Just like stuff like that. That's like, I think that's really important for everyone to feel welcome. And and fundraisers too. I think a lot of people like fundraisers, like a Chick-fil-A type of thing, or like a boba, like things that like a lot of like young, like us as young adults, like we love, you know. And yeah.
So for me, I would say in response to that question, I would try to create virtual events for our commuters. In response to COVID-19, we are not physically on campus right now. So the best thing is, like my fellow students said, best to really utilize our platforms on social media and find ways to reach out to our commuters and see what their needs are, and then maybe create different Zoom parties or different type of virtual events that they can come together, interact with one another. I also had ideas of maybe a mix and match type of thing where we can connect them with other careers and professional people to connect with, and also connecting them with different departments within our campus and matching them with mentors so our commuters can really feel supported during this time.
I had an idea where I would create a short questionnaire where every student, whether they're a commuter or just like a student living on campus, and then based on their results, match them. Or even we can create like some students that match with some diversity where there is some differences in the group, where students can like connect, kind of talk, because you know we're in COVID right now and everyone's doing classes through Zoom. And students can't really connect and get to know each other because it's Zoom and you can't really get that same physical to physical like contact with people. So that's one of my ideas and I hope it's used.
So some of my ideas would be that once we would go back to campus, hopefully next semester, I would have like a few equipment spread out through the campus, like soccer balls, baseballs, well, the soft versions, of course, volleyballs, all types of equipment where students can interact with one another. Like no matter the diversity, the ethnicity, if you're a commuter or resident, you'll be able to play within the time you have free. Another plan I have is a commuter appreciation week where you appreciate commuters, like you celebrate with carnivals, you have a beach bond, you have interactions with commuters that you didn't know had that struggle like others. And the third one I would say would be offer commuters a breakfast bag where you add something simple like a juice or a fruit or a sandwich, since a lot of commuters have struggles with getting breakfast or lunch in the mornings. So it's easier to hand them like a simple bag so that they could not go hungry all day. And then I would say that so many ideas for the commuters, we could have like out of a 1 month, one time out of no, one day out of every month, we could have like a little campfire on campus where commuters are able to stay, where you could like since the school is full with pure grass and stuff, we could rent like little tents, and like many of my fellow classmates say we could do like a mismatch type of situation scenario where you're like you go to different departments, you meet new people, and you just interact with everyone in general. And then the last project I would have would be like put up positive boards throughout the campus, which would be that you would have a marker and you'll be able to write anything you want, something positive, uplifting, because a lot of times some students have very stressful situations and they just want to read something positive. So that's what I feel would be the best to implement commuters into our daily life.
Beautiful. Thank you all for answering that question. You all seem like really creative people, and I just want to say thank you for putting some thought into that. Those are really exciting. All of them just made me really excited as a commuter this year. So I'm going to move on to our second question. So my second question for you all is, as a commuter this year, what needs do you personally feel need to be addressed that would possibly be the same need for another commuter? So I'm going to let you guys answer this question. And again, if you need me to repeat the question or make some clarification, please let me know at any time, okay? And we'll start with Chelsea again.
So I know, like, for me specifically, I live all the way in Buena Park. So obviously that's spending money on gas, getting stuck in traffic, lack of time, like from studying can be really stressful too. and like I know we had to pay for like parking permits and like parking each time if you don't have like an actual parking permit, and I think that's like a really big issue that should be discussed, since it involves a lot of money and we're paying money already just to go to school, so it's like just adding on top of that. Another issue is mainly like loneliness, and it's like we need to make other people feel more welcomed like at the school, and I think like um just like it's hard, like let's say you want to study with your friends, right, but you have to go home and everybody else has like lives in their dorms. It's like you can't even like participate in any study groups. And I think I want to like emphasize more like on having like a flexible schedule, like for other students, like I guess help people, because I'm really passionate about that, like helping people. I'm like the type of person who cares more about others than myself, so like yeah. And then I think another issue can also be like working. So obviously, like commuting, you're gonna go over there, and there are campus jobs, but I think that should be more emphasized. Like the fact that like you can, like there is an opportunity to get a job there, and like also squeeze in time like for studying, for school, and also driving back home. I think also networking, so finding connections, and like I think that's really important.
For me, I would say that some concerns that I've seen that I would express in regards to our commuters overall, I think it's just inclusion. Because obviously we know, yes, they're part of our Vanguard student body, but for some reason there's always this type of division between our resident students and our commuters. Like that they don't get the same opportunities as some resident students. They don't get to go to some of the same events. And I think that kind of hones in back to just the revision for every department on campus to just be more mindful of when we're creating events or different things. Let's be mindful of the students that do have to travel to campus. Let's try to figure out what kind of schedules they have and see if we can create things that are more aligning with their schedule, so when they are done with class and have to leave, they don't miss out on events. That there'll be stuff in their time slots for them as well. So that goes back into like making them feel included, making them feel welcome. Because at the end of the day, they're paying just like the residents. The only difference is they're just commuting and they're not staying there. And parking is a big issue as well, not just the paying for the pass, but the parking, trying to find parking in general has been a big issue. I even know for me personally, being a commuter this past semester, like I didn't have class till 9, but I literally would leave my home like 5 o'clock in the morning just to get there by like 8, just to get there to get parking with the 8 a.m. people. Because if you weren't there by 8, like it was a wrap. So I think there's different ways that we can be more creative and maybe structuring our parking just for commuters or trying to help our students with passes. There's different things that we can do to make our students feel like they're valued and that they matter. So I would say those are the issues I would want to definitely address and be more present for our commuters.
Yeah, something that Chelsea and Vanessa already mentioned was parking. Personally, I feel concerned that I will drive to Vanguard and I'm just trying to find a spot to park. And I'm just worried, I'm worried that I'm going to be late to class, but I'll be like, no, I got there in time. But just like, I couldn't find a parking spot. And just like be on time and like just is so important to me because that's just who I am. And I don't want that reputation of my reputation to be ruined because like I wasn't on time. So that's something I really, really want like to be addressed. And I was even thinking maybe something that Vanessa also mentioned was structuring the parking lot just for commuters, because I know there are a lot of students living on campus, and some would argue that they have first choice because they're living on campus. But I feel like commuters should have first choice because they're driving from such a long distance to just attend class. And then Something I also like really think is important is the library. Right now, I know that the library is only available for students living on campus, but I feel like it should also be available for commuters because personally, I'm like a physical textbook person. I work better that way. And if I really, really need to, then I will resort to e-text or a PDF. But I feel like it's really important for students to get access to those books in the library than just having to pay for a rental book off of Amazon or something.
So I agree with everyone talking about the parking spot because it's spontaneous and it's all over the place. But something that I really do want to address is the gas prices because no matter if it's fall, spring, or any of the seasons, it's always expensive. And so what I was coming up with an idea, I was already heading out to the career services. I have made an appointment and everything, and I had already talked to one of the representatives. And they gave me an idea to reach out to one of the gas companies to see if I could at least get like a 10% discount for students who are commuting on and off campus because it could be really pricey. And you do waste more money on gas than you do on food or any other supplements throughout your day. And something else that I feel that many students are very pressed about would be the lack of socialization in the community. Like many of my peers said that they just don't have the time or the opportunity to do it. So it would be best, like Manny said, that you could have like a schedule planned out and to figure out where are the topics. And an idea I came up with to make it a little easier would be once in a month have like a little free day for students where just like throughout the whole day you just go out and just having a little picnic or some type of activity with the teachers because that's a way of interacting in a sense, but the same way you're actually socializing. Another thing would be many students are unaware of events. Yes, I know that the school sends out emails, they have social medias. However, not many students have the opportunity to check their emails or not have the opportunity to have a cell phone in general. So it would be a good idea to at least have a pamphlet of what's gonna happen throughout the month, set up in each room like a little calendar to say, oh, this day we're gonna have this event. It would be a good way to let others know, even if they don't have the technology. And then something else I do want to include, and there's another issue, is students having the lack of opportunity going to tutoring. Many students cannot go because of like many say their jobs or they have to go long drives and stuff. So I would be like, we could make a group chat where it's anonymous students where tutors can read your essay and edit for you. That could be a good way for students to get feedback at the same time of still being at home and doing their activities. And another thing would be time management. It's just so hard to manage your time when you're having a job and classes, homework, and stuff like that. So it would be a good idea to give out students like a small little calendar where it represents like, oh, you could write down what you have to do and like just time yourself to see how much time you waste throughout the day to see what amount of time it takes. And now you just have an idea of how much time you need. And it gives you like a little planning time. I don't know. But yeah.
Amazing. Well, these all sound like really, really great ideas, plans for the future. And I'm just so excited to see what happens with them. So if you're watching this, election kickoff with the commuters, we just want to say thank you for tuning in and joining us. And these are your commuter representative candidates. So we will be picking, you will be choosing 2 of these young ladies to be your commuter representative for SGA. And we're just so excited to see what happens, but we know that regardless of what happens, it's going to be amazing turnout. So make sure you vote, and we will see you soon.
Thank you so much for joining us for this year's SGA election kickoff. In the details below, you'll find the link to vote for your representatives this year. Everyone has a representative to vote for, so make sure that you vote for your residential or commuter representative. Also, make sure to share with all your friends and tell everyone you know about this election kickoff video. And follow us on Instagram at Vanguard SGA for poll updates. And remember that your vote matters.